several months ago dealing with this, and I wish I could remember the stats, but it's something like 60, almost 70% of subsidy for artists, and now they've got people arguing whether we should go to the market. Well, you know where that comes from? It comes from the Renaissance period, where people valued the courtly arts, and you gave people some money to go and do things that made the public feel good. Well, it's still trickling down, but some people are now trying to bring a Western market construct to that if it doesn't pay, then we shouldn't pay for it. We are a country that is rich enough in spirit and in, notwithstanding this economic crisis, that we should be talking about more subsidy for the arts. And I'm asking you, beyond the pragmatic things that you have to do, and you must do that. You must fill your theaters and get your artists contracts and so forth and so on. You've got to become a more active citizen voice about the lateral importance of the arts, not just the arts as a soft culture, as an afterthought. It's got to be central. And this is the moment to do it while we are in this crisis, because the minute, in 2014 or whatever it is, when the economics restabilize, you're going to find yourselves in the same begging position. It's shameful when we look at the little amount of money that goes into the National Endowment for the Arts or the National Endowment for the Humanities. Still, what, under $300 million combined? I mean, think about that. And you have to stop being beggars, because you are the people who know, and you know from your feeling. But we are still in that mode where we have our little tin cup out there saying, would you help an artist? Would you help me bring a bright moment? And you don't see yourselves as important as doctors or politicians or car makers or so forth and so on. And I am on my stand now preaching to you. If you don't do it, then it's left to the politicians who are not going to take it up.
I would just add to that, because many of us are representing festivals and are doing programming that reaches into communities in a different way than the more elitist venue-based operations do. We've got to activate our audiences also on that same agenda, because we come with a self-serving kind of appearance.
Yes.
They don't,
Yes.
and they need to be the advocates along with us on this. Lauren?
James, some very provocative, refreshing ideas. I am the executive director of an organization that is based in Cambridge, so we serve Boston, Cambridge, Somerville, Brookline, that area. Going into our 20th year of presenting a culturally diverse and multidisciplinary concert series. And I founded it, and I was thinking, what's the most important thing that I can think of over 20 years? And I came down, to my surprise, education. Then I thought one step ahead, and I thought, I have been enabling a broken system for 20 years. And by that I mean, we, examples, had a program in a high school in Cambridge which placed artists not on a one-off time, but for 6 months at a time. Boston traditional artists, great program, really fantastic. The benefits were incredible. It was costing me $150,000 a year to run. You might know the folklorist that ran the program. His name was Dylan Buston. And eventually I went to the school. I said, I can't do this. I'm a presenting organization. I need you to come up with 50% of the money to the school system. No, we don't have it in our budget. Okay, I'm leaving. And I left. It wasn't an idle threat. In the area where I live, arts education in schools is practically gone. It's practically gone. So we, as presenting organizations, placed artists programs in schools, but what benefit do they have? How long-term are they? What is the impact of this if there's not an arts program in the school to support what we are doing? What we are doing in this should be enhancing and enriching what already exists, but it doesn't. So, you need to ask yourself as a presenter, are you doing the right thing? And where are you doing the right thing? I have specifically engaged the artists that we present in schools that have arts programming. They have a department that does it. Example, and these are, some of them are charter schools. An example is the Boston Arts Academy. Fantastic performing arts charter school in Boston. Unbelievable school. The dance choreographers that we present, every single one of them teaches a master class to those students. And I would like to think that we had a small part in the winner of So You Think We Can Dance, whatever that program's called, because he's from Boston and he's from the Boston Arts Academy and he's a crumper. But he took contemporary classes from the contemporary choreographers that were giving master classes, and every kid that lives for Ron Brown to teach his class in the school, and I'm sure he took those classes as well. I'm just throwing it out there as a provocative statement that we have to think what we're doing. I mean, you know, how does the system actually get fixed on a fundamental basis? My daughter goes to another charter school. There is no arts, nothing. Simple doesn't exist. So, you know, it's a very problematic area. My son goes to a public school in Somerville. The teacher of the classroom is the driving mechanism behind arts education in that grade. In other words, he organizes parents to come in, play guitar, play the music that they grew up listening to, and teach it to the kids. It's not coming from an institutional basis within the educational system. But I'm sure it's going to draw a lot of response.
Yeah.
This touches upon something that you touched on earlier, is are you creating partnerships and collaborations with those schools and with the school systems that don't have arts? And because if you're not in there, at least this is from my perspective and what is within our community, is we're now participating in all the different Asheville City Schools Foundation or Buncombe County Schools Foundations that don't have arts, so that at least our voice can still be in there and that we can explore possibilities for the future. But if you totally divorce yourself from that, then you don't have a voice in there. So I'm hearing you, but I didn't fully get.
It's money. How do you create those relationships when you as an arts organization are financially stressed to execute your core mission of presenting? You need a partnership with the district.
Right.
And if the district is not coming forward, you know, is it our responsibility to fill that at the risk of placing the core mission of your presenting organization in jeopardy?
You need an advocate.
Yes.
You need Americans for the Arts, and I'm sure I will get some not positive fan mail from this. Art does not equal jobs. That is not the slogan that we should be talking about. That is a backhanded way. Art equals the elevation of humanity and spirit. Those are very difficult terms for common parlance. You work with individual artists and groups of artists, but you need advocacy organizations that are going to make the bigger case for how the arts, I'm not talking about the humanities now, I come out of the humanities, but how the arts add a value to our lives. Now there is an emerging discussion about happiness. Start to Google it and find out. And already they're beginning to say, well, how do you put a dollar figure to it? This country, with all of our wealth,